Welcome to Healing the Spirit, a space where we awaken our creativity, deepen our connections, and remember who we are through the lens of astrology, archetypes, and art making. I'm your host, Jonathan Coe. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Healing the Spirit. Today, I have some channeled wisdom and transmissions for you from Neptune and Aries. This one came through in real time. I felt the nudge earlier to just start recording myself saying some of the messages that I was seeing and hearing out loud, and I'm sharing it with you. So it's a little different than how I usually do this. If you have been tuning into this podcast for some time, you'll notice that this episode has a different pace. It's much more spacious. I was really in that meditative state. And yeah, I hope that this message serves you in your process of healing, liberation, and encouragement. And I shared some initial impressions at first, some images that came through when I tuned into Neptune and Aries and its consciousness. And then some messages started to flow through, and basically there's a message here for the collective body, for the collective heart, and the collective spirit. A small piece of announcement before we get into the episode is I currently have an offering called Creative Spirit Reading, where I connect with the creative spirit of folks that I work with. And it's been a really amazing offering. I've really loved doing it. And some of the messages that came through have just been mind-blowing for both me and the querent. And yeah, if you're interested in booking that reading, I would love to read for you. And essentially, similar to the reading you're about to experience, we focus on the creative body, the creative heart, and then what is called the creative source. So, yeah, if that feels interesting to you, I would love to work with you one-on-one. You can find the links in the show notes below. Okay, let's get into this episode with some messages and wisdom from Neptune in Aries. The first image that I saw when I'm connecting to Neptune and Aries is a drain in the middle of an ocean. I see this whirlpool into which everything gets sucked inside of it. At the same time, in this image, I'm also seeing a kind of stillness. It doesn't feel particularly chaotic. There is a logic to this swirl. There's a logic to how things are being drawn into this hole, this whirlpool in the middle of the ocean. There's a serene and stable quality to it. I see different furnitures, a chair being sucked into the whirlpool. I see different possessions going into this whirlpool, and there's an energy of surrender around it. I'm also picking up on how this whirlpool is leading somewhere. An awareness that the things that are being drawn into this tornado, this oceanic tornado, is going somewhere. It's going into the bottom of the ocean. And the bottom of the ocean is a calm place. I'm also being shown how the bottom of the ocean isn't really something that humans necessarily have access to in its entirety. There's a certain depth that the human being, that the human mind, the human body can't really fathom. There are depths that humans don't get access to. And in not getting access to this depth, humans are both spared and also kept out. I'm getting this image of a child that can't reach a certain height of the counters in the kitchen that they are living in. This child has access to the kitchen but can't reach for that top shelf. And similarly, many of us humans aren't able to access this level of depth that's available in this ocean of consciousness. And things are being pulled into the bottom of this consciousness. We're being asked to release and let go and trust that the whirlpool in the middle of the ocean is doing exactly the job that it's supposed to. I'm also hearing that there's this belief that a lot of us are being asked to release around how this is for some greater good purpose. And what I'm hearing about it is yes, there's truth to that. And when we see beyond it, there's something mechanical about the way that this whirlpool, I'm seeing it almost like a tornado in the middle of the ocean. There's a mechanistic quality to how this tornado is working. In other words, it's a force of nature. It's a phenomenon that has its own intelligence, and it's not necessarily an intelligence that is always serving mankind. There is a releasing that is being asked here around the primacy of humanity. For a long time, humans have taken a lot of refuge in believing that humans are superior to other intelligences and other life forms in this planet and beyond. And Neptune in Aries is bringing a question mark into this notion. There is another possibility, there is another way of being, there's another posture that we're being asked to practice as humans. And we begin here with this image of this tornado in the middle of the ocean. This tornado has its own intelligence. This tornado has its own direction. This tornado has its own agenda. And the agenda is serving life itself. It's serving the greater consciousness of this vast cosmos that we live in. And humans are but one component of this larger community of beings. Surrendering the idea that humans are superior, surrendering the idea that humans are the primary agent may seem radical, but it's also a call to understanding the deeper truth of reality. And ultimately, this truth is what sets humans free. You are living in a dream, and the dream is also you. The dream manifests through your desires, through your struggles, your challenges, your fears. And getting to know these aspects of who you are that may not be comfortable will begin to show you the nature of reality itself. The nature of reality is non-dual. The nature of reality is beyond your comprehension. And at the same time, the nature of reality is also seeded. Its DNA is encoded at a micro level within your experiences, your emotions. Studying the human experience is a project that has been ongoing for a very long time. And Neptune in Aries is a deepening of that project, a deepening of that agenda. Neptune in Aries is the start of a new chapter in exploring human consciousness. Human consciousness is connected to the consciousness of all things, which are by nature unbounded. That which is unbounded is often scary to the human mind that wants to control. But control itself is part of the fabricated dream. Control was never in the cards to begin with. Control is not part of the human consciousness. because it's not part of the consciousness of our life. The things that are being sucked away into this tornado are things that are meant to drown into the bottom of the ocean. Let it go. There's intelligence in strategizing. There's intelligence in building. There's intelligence in pursuing. But the ultimate intelligence lies in recognizing the limitation of your control. Your power is unbounded, but your control is limited. Your power is unbounded, but your control is limited. What does it mean to step into an ocean of fire? What does it mean to stop the fire? You can't stop the fire when the fire is the ocean itself. The burning always serves a greater purpose. Burning is the start of regeneration. Burning is the start of revitalization. Burning turns into ashes, which then feeds the soil. When things are burned away, things transmute, things transform into a different configuration. The unrecognizable has something to teach you. When the familiar is turned into an unrecognizable, you learn to see the familiar through new eyes. In learning to see through new eyes, you learn humility. Humility is being close to the ground. The ground is all there is. A message for the collective body. When I tune into the collective body, I am sensing this jellyfish-like structure. Getting this image of a jellyfish being washed into the shore. A jellyfish that no longer has life, drifting to the shore. The jellyfish is one of the oldest species. The jellyfish did not survive through rigidity. And yet, even the most supple sometimes gives way to the end of life. The end of life, in and of itself, is an illusion. The end of life is the start of a new form of life. There's a part of you that cannot die because life itself does not die. When you shift from one form to another, be that in your body, or in your heart, or in your ego, or in your relationships, you are entering into a new chapter. You are simply entering into a new chapter. There's always fear and resistance at the threshold. But if you recognize that which has died, then there is no resistance. When there is no life, there is no resistance. And yet, the paradox is that there is always life. Even in the things that humans deem to be dead, to be not alive, there is always life. The collective body needs to remember that there is always life. The collective body is always an extension of the greater intelligence of life moving through all things. There is, there was, and there has never been any war. It is simply the illusion of asserting control. Control, of course, is an illusion. Control is part of the human game, when in actuality, control is an instinctual response, a resistance to changing forms. When you see that which you detest in others, when you see that which is repulsive in the collective body, recognize that you are part of this collective body. It is you and you are it. Learn to see the scared little children in everyone that you detest. The more you inflame your fear, your hatred, your resistance, the more you are extending the timeline of healing. You are the collective is you. When you heal yourself, you are instantly sending healing to others as well. When you oppose others, you are instantly prolonging the timeline of that healing. Take a deep breath. Recognize your true nature, which is and is not at the same time. Recognize your true self, which is graspable and ungraspable. The more you grasp, the more you will see there is nothing to grasp. The more you surrender your grasp, the more you will see the core. The collective body is shifting from the belly up. Collective body is reorganizing itself. That which was closer to the ground is brought up closer to the head. That which was once part of the crown is now part of what needs to return back into the earth. This process may look disruptive, and you are here to remember that this is simply a reorganization. You are simply being asked to adjust your vision, to adjust your conception, and to adjust your sight. In actuality, there is no hierarchy to life. Everything needs everything. Everyone needs everyone. You are all interconnected in this web, and so there is no running away. There is no running away. A message for the collective heart. The collective heart is tender at the moment. The collective heart is afraid. The collective heart is nervous about what is to come. When the collective heart is nervous, it is beating faster. In the rapid heartbeat of the collective, there is a new song being sung. There is a new rhythmic pattern. You are shifting into a different way of relating to the collective music. What was once calming now feels way too slow. What was once activating is now the norm. What was once unfelt now comes up to the surface. The collective heart, more than any other part of the collective, is deeply connected to the individual heart. You are being asked to look deep into your heart. You're being asked to look deep into why you do the things you do. What has laid dormant in your heart space for a long time? Where have you been hiding the medicine of your anger? Where have you been wasting the medicine of your passion? The deeper one goes into the heart, one is invited into a journey where one feels completely and utterly alone. There's a way in which your heart is like nobody else's. There's a way in which you are a secret even to yourself. Going deeper into the chamber, the innermost chamber of the heart, is something that only you can do. No amount of assistance, no amount of guidance, no wise teacher can tell you where the heart of your heart is. The heart of the heart is where you were born. The heart of the heart is your innermost self. You are being asked to look at your innermost self. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? A message for the collective spirit. The collective spirit is experiencing a renegotiation, a rezoning of some sort. In the spirit realm, there are also properties, there are also landscapes. They don't have or carry the same connotation as they do in the physical world. And yet, the experience of zones and the experience of landscape and property is still relevant. There's a rezoning happening for the collective spirit. You are being asked to consider a more expanded perspective. The paradox here is that the more expanded your perspective is, the less power you will gain by asserting control. Some of you are afraid of losing control. That is understandable. And also, losing control is a sign of expansion from the perspective of the collective spirit. You're not doing anything wrong when you feel like you are losing control. Your spirit by nature is not an entity is not a realm that you can control. Your spirit just is. You may stumble upon your words on a human level. You may do the wrong things. You may take actions that carries intergenerational repercussions. In fact, some of the shame and the fear that you are experiencing in your body and in your heart at the moment was not your own doing. It was a repercussion, it was a consequence of the things that your ancestors did on a human level. You are welcome to feel them, but you will be served by recognizing that reacting to them will simply reenact the pattern. Bow to these patterns. Recognize them and acknowledge them. And then understand that you are not your ancestors. The past informs the present and the future. The consequences of the past are alive in the present, but whether they continue to live into the future is in your hands. If you listen to your spirit, if you listen to the instructions that your spirit is sharing with you, you interrupt the story of the ancestors. Some of the ancestors will be very happy about this, and others will not be. And you will feel it in your body. Some of you are being asked to rest. Some of you are being asked to cure physical manifestations of ancestral patterns. Connect to your spirit and allow your spirit to remind you that what is happening in your body is no reflection of the depravity of your spirit. When you believe something is inherently wrong with you, you are choosing a narrative that blocks your access to your deeper self. The collective spirit is awakening and healing from this illusion. Neptune in Aries is about individuation. You are part of the ancestral lineage that you were born into, but you are not the ancestral lineage you were born into. You are impacted by your ancestral lineage, and you are not wholly responsible for fixing what has happened through your ancestral lineage. When you choose to listen to your calling, the unique set of instructions that your spirit is handing you, you are short-circuiting the ancestral loop. You are jumping off the carousel. Look down and you will see that your own path has been waiting for you. The collective spirit needs you to walk your path. This period of time is pregnant with possibilities for individuation. When you choose to begin to walk your own path, for some of you, this will feel very slow. For some of you, you may even wonder if you are walking at all. Pause for a moment. Look at your path and ask your path, are you my path? Are you my path? The answer will be immediately obvious to you. If you are not walking your path, gently bow to the path that you're currently on and say, thank you. Thank you for holding me. I must now find my own path. And if it is your own path, even if you don't see beyond 2 steps in front of you, keep walking. Keep walking. The collective spirit is moving through a reorganization. Roles are being redistributed. Responsibilities are shifted from one part of the collective spirit into the other. What was once working will begin to stop working. What has never worked will begin to start working. For some of you, it may be healthy and necessary to stop trying to understand the big picture. The big picture always takes care of itself. What will not take care of itself, however, is your own path. Unless you walk your path will not be walked. Ahead of you, there are unknowns. The forest looks thick, and the trees are obscuring your perspectives. Look down to the ground, and you will see the patterns that you are meant to see. On the ground, when you are sensitive and attuned, you will hear guidance. You will receive instructions. You will recognize when there's an ally. You will recognize when there's a trickster. And you will recognize the shadow. The only practice is the practice of slowing down. When you slow down, you release yourself from the clutches of easy momentum. Some of you may be concerned that slowing down will mean that you will get lost. This is not true. When you slow down and resource yourself on a physical body level, you will clearly feel if you are walking on your path. Your path calls to you. The call may be quiet. The call may feel dim. For some of you, you are walking the path of no applause. There will be no crowd cheering on the other end. It's better if you allow yourself to feel the disappointment at the start of the path. It's okay to feel the sorrow and the disappointment of the path that ends with no applause. But when this path is your path, there is no other path. You might find yourself jumping on to another path. You may find yourself seeking. Where is the applause? What are others asking for me to do? You will be tempted to go down into this path, and some of you will. But at the end of that path, you will find yourself ungrasping, unclasping your hands, and all you will see are ashes. When you follow the path that is correct for you, you will find that the light you have been seeking have been inside you all along. Dear one, you are not lost. You are simply walking your own path. You are simply trusting your own path. And the quiet that you are hearing is the sound of faith. And so it is. May this message be received and be integrated with ease and grace and peace for all of us.